So there's like a rotation or something. It's like a, remember the Patriot Act? It's like Roundup, right? They're looking for all these characters and shit. It turned out to just be the technology that reflected what was making their decision. Because when they find somebody that operate outside the interest of the United States government, they had telephone logs, and those honed in on Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig's and meeting like people who got together to meet for like all types of like do-it-yourself improvement type of thing, to be a terrorist, until they worked out the algorithm. That was in the days running up to Waco, Texas. The Branch Davidian, and they firebombed and shot at people through obfuscations where they couldn't know if the target they were aiming at was a person or like a grown person or a young person, their child or anything. So there's like a cycle of, it's like an addiction. There's like denial, first is denial, and then like cognitive dissonance, or after denial is I don't know which one it is for Narcotics Anonymous and shit, but there's a process, and it goes, and there's like a season of silliness, or like where people just don't understand the gravity or don't want to own the wreckage, and then they just like think everything is funny and shit, even though they're libeling people and stuff. And the degree to which, I guess, the wreckage is, the more that they need to get settled up with something. The reason that people get killed is because they want to get high for free. They want to re-up on dope, and then they don't want to pay. So then there's this focus group season, because it's like trying to refocus on the perspective that they missed out on when they're not looking with the proper set of eyes. It's been their true eyes have been occulted to them. They're ensconcing themselves in the ridiculousness and trying to like have a marketing advertising campaign, and they're not one in the same type like advertising. You can have a way of feel about somebody whether or not their whole hustle is advertising, you know. And they, you know, of course it's like, well, the precedent is there for them to continue. You could say that Cryptomax is going to be around for 5 years. Then after you stop managing him, then he's not under your protective wing anymore. But you're not selling the shit. All of AK-47 Voice of the Streets is always talking about how you can all get racketeering and from 3-letter names, because even the government knows that to set up a 3-letter organization is a way to get around not having any agency. They just have to have land deeds and titles. But and they come up with a bill that sounds like something that it's a reasonable goal that nobody can argue with, so it gets voted in. Are you against clean air? Are you against the patriotism? Because you got the Patriot Act now, you got the Clean Air Bill, you got so everything that we're like stand with Ukraine, we're actually proliferating. We're standing in the background and proliferating, hoping to get Putin bogged down in a quagmire. That's all it is. Why can't you just recognize what it is? If, like, you know that the Russians have a different ethos about even their Air Force and how it's used for defense, or how many, like, a body count isn't as significant against Russia as you think, psychologically you would think, because they throw a lot of, you know, like, they could be telling you that they're not using conscripts or something like that, and then they could just train up their conscripts a little bit better, make some of their paperwork disappear, give them new paperwork, put them back with their. This is just like whether or not you feel about a way that's either going on or not going on. You have to imagine this somewhat, to what degree. To what degree is it going on? And if you have any interest in it at all, or just let the military people talk about military shit and don't talk about military shit at all. And I'm not even military, but I'm not gonna go over to Ukraine and tell them how to solve their situation. Even like we're just sending them better technology. We say it's to defend themselves and to arm them, but we're putting them under a hotter seat and a hotter position. Somebody's like, what is that? I don't know if this, what is gerrymandering? I don't know what that shit is. It sounds like the word I want to use, but it might not be. It's building contracts. Who's going to get the building contracts after the controlled backburn? They're trying to build it's the One Belt, One Road initiative, which is the reason we waylaid our own pipelines, And a lot of people might not agree with me on we should build the pipeline, but I mean, it depends on if you want to go to fucking Damascus. You want to go and back to a junkie that is like addicted to fossil to their oil, and then people just think they could move the goalpost because you have idealism, but idealisms are the road to hell is paved with good intention. Like amenta, it's even called amenta. The amenta of the subconscious is hell because a thought projected through a conduit into this into the physical domain. If it can be picked up or perceived through synthetics, or a screen, like a false light bringer or something, augmented mirror magic light bringer with a screen, you know what I mean? Like, then you have to, then because of the nature of the information that I give off, you have to wonder what's my motivation, and how far can I get by saying that I'm not monetized, that you should believe me, because you really aren't supposed to believe anybody. There's still going to be some, even if it's only in my mind, reason that is, you could say, where I had to stop being selfish and start being selfish. What did I say that? You have to be more selfish. Like there's a motivation. I have an agenda behind this channel. It's just like, what is it? You know what I mean? What is it? Like, because I'm not trying to tell you I'm infallible. There's not every word that I come out of my mouth is going to be accuracy,